we would like to invite Itakura Masaaki professor to give us the presentation. And the theme is Suzhou and Hangzhou looking at the Suzhou prints from the development of urban image. And we are going to give the microphone to Itakura sensei. Professor Itakura is going to speak.
Thank you very much for your kind introduction. My name is Itakura. I am going to go ahead and start. The Suzhou prints deal with a variety of subjects, but among other things, the images of Suzhou that show the bustle of the city and famous landscape of West Lake adjacent to the ancient capital of Hangzhou, which are based on real scene, and they are notable as representative of Suzhou print images. Here, we will focus on prints with these two cities as their subjects on the front. So prior to that, there are a few things I'd like to confirm. The buildings and landscape, sceneries, something between real and ideal. Describing landmark and scenery, the idealized and modified, and they show the characteristics of the towns. It is close to the map, so something in between. So at the boundary, the urban imagery is a print, which is a reproductions, and in the Suzhou prints, in and outside of the city, the 360 kozu. It shows the bustle of the city, which is frequently used as a guide. The economically prospering Suzhou during Ming Dynasty, the conflict between the Seppa and Goha, the Shinshu and Ryoshu are the Bunchome. And at the same time, the Suzhou was a representative town for a silk fabric. Has a tradition of handicraft making, and they make their craft for palace. The Suzhou has become very famous for forgeries, and there are many forgeries, fake works in this town. It's called Suzhou pieces. So as a print place, it became very popular. Suzhou plate, the place became the place for a print. The Suzhou pieces and printmaking company were located in Tokau. It's the south of the Suzhou train station, and they are very populated with the houses. The Bunchome Qingming used to play on the boat. The Tokau, near Tokau, during Ming Dynasty, the literati of the Suzhou played in those areas. The studios were located in many places, and printmaking places were also were located. First of all, I would like to address the landscape of Suzhou, where themselves were produced. The Umi-Mori Museum, with a view of the sea, owns two sets of the painting, 360 lines, or All Wakes of Life, the Gushu Solmon, and both dated Yongsan 12, but comparison of the details reveals that one of the ink plate is smaller than the other. The print depicts a view of the Suzhou old city, looking into the city from outside, centering on the western gate of the Suzhou old city. Inside and outside the gate were commercial halls and public offices of nearly 50 from more than a dozen provinces across the country, where a variety of things are concentrated. And signboard in the print shows that the products were indeed gathered from all over the country. This is indeed a symbol of prosperity of Suzhou. The upper part of the print uses the Western perspective technique, and when two works are connected, they form a view of Suzhou Castle or Suzhou City. Above Changmen Gate is a little title poem by the publisher. Ba Shu-sun praises Suzhou as a prosperous city like Bianjing in the old days and a famous scenic spot in Wuzhou. And in fact, the overall structure of their work can be considered to have been inspired by the composition of Shanfa. So around Suzhou pieces, the forgeries or the fake ones, they were distributed widely. In the bottom, the commercial arcade, the channels, and outside of the city, Jotoga, from the Jotoga to Santoga, and the joint port, Esai-bashi and Ranmen to the inner city. So this real landscape was noted. The Ranmen and Seimeijo-kanzu, the same scenery was based. The Suzhou pieces were developed. Shoumenzu was developed based on the configuration or composition of Seimeijo-kanzu. Shukoshi of Tokau were active, supposed to be active, 736 through 1795. And they made, he used the subject matters of the Suzhou landscape and by using Western perspective techniques. Kinsho Koshikizu, which is very similar composition of Renmen, near the Hokumon or the North Gate, and observing Renmen and castle wall and the canal, and the Santoga's river flow is painted. So from the upper right to the left bottom, diagonally, this configuration is made. The boat on the river, we can see it's beginning of summer. So this setting itself reminds us of the Seimeijo Kozu. At the center of the screen, here is a drama house. It doesn't look like an original one, but we can see Seimeijo Kozu of Ming and Qing Dynasty. Jishoko, Soshuke made or Soshuke Shinzo Mannenzu. In 1740 November, the Mannenkyo or Mannen Bridge was developed. Under the stone bridge, through the 3 holes, the vessels are running extensively. Outside of the Shomon, Mannen Bridge is located. The Mannen Bridge, completion of Mannen Bridge has led the development of further prosperity of the commercial district of west of Suzhou. Sango Daichikyo and Mannenkyo are located. So this is the proud Soshu's boasting this bridge. Shomon was just partially drawn, and the mountains, hills, and prosperity outside of the castle was painted. There is a book of Kobe City Museum. In one screen, Mannen Bridge and Somon were incorporated, and the Mannen Bridge's existence was emphasized. Seimeijogazu, it looks like a Seimeijogazu. The kokyo can be reminisced. So this is admiring the piece which was brought by Qing Dynasty. So this subject matter became very popular. In 1741, Bokurin Koji, Koso Mannen Kyozu, Kenryu 9, 1744, Toke Shujin, Koso Mannen Kyozu, they were published in sequence. Cho Seishu, leading printmaker, Ko Taiseiyo Hippo, was published. Diagonally, the bridge was perceived, and shading expression was emphasized. The shade reflected on the water surface. Sato Seishu, Chushu Megetsuzu of Shutoshi, going up 3 kilometers of Santoga from Shumen, the Fusai Bridge was drawn. Christa von der Burg's Koso Kokyushizu, the design is on the left panel, so it is the combined one. So if you connect them, it looks like the Santo River is flowing. Ostaise Hippo and Ho Jushu Hitsui are described, and Western technique and the traditional color technique are combined and indicated in these combined panels. And besides this, Qingming dynasties and Koso Meien Shishirinzu, the Shishirin is a garden since Yuan dynasty. It's loved by Yuan. The Ni Kenryu Midai are drawn in the inscribed in the upper section. The Qing dynasty's emperor's authority was also emphasized and frequently drawn in the literati drawing. Lengthen Kessho and Sekko are existing work and subject matters of social print. You can look at the Heikozu, traditionally the landscape of the bridge. That is the very important motif. In addition, the literati work and Goha literati work of Ming Dynasty, Jikkezu and Gashuzu are frequently made. So literatis garden are frequently drawn. The social print became the target of those works, particularly commercial prosperity and bustle of the city. Those are the subject of the urban imagery, which played a very important role. As described in the late Ming Dynasty, the forgeries were made very frequently. The Suzhou pieces and the Seimeijo Kozu have over 100 forgeries, and the price in the references have a wide range. Seimeijo Gazu, the collector, the wealthy middle class taste and the social print could have been purchased and collected, not only the producer, but also people who enjoy these prints. So Seimeijo Gazu, the Kaifeng of the Northern Song Dynasty, the reproduction and forgeries have elements of the Suzhou. So in that sense that it can be interpreted as a landscape of Suzhou. Senkoku and Choko as shown in the actual real landscape of the literati, shaman and shaman have a rather small portion in the screen, entire screen. The social print emphasize the building and the bridge. So probably it's not the not by the literati drawing, but it's close to the Isomejo Kozu. So it was the basis of the urban imagery. In the same manner, Somejo Gazu, based on the Somejo Gazu urban imagery, was developed. The shading combination of shading technique used. The Soshu Joyo from Soshu and other than that, the local bureaucrats order Mannenkyo Zukan existed. In that sense, the social print has developed based on the trend of the court paintings.
First, Ding Yutai's West Lake Imperial Palace is a clear example with known associations. According to literature, Ding Yutai was a painter active in the later part of the Kanji era, and his baptismal name as a Christian was Tim Paul.
An example, and about the later, according what Tim Paul from the Christianities, and he has been used a few method, and then used the length method, and then also was by using the shadings, and then he has been demonstrated a very good technique. And then also from the lake and the bridge, and then also being configured into the painting. And then after that, and the typical Seiko paintings that has been demonstrated as well. The next big painting is Seiko, the broken bridge in the crystal, and has the crystal versions. And then you can see on the right side, which is outside of the frame of the paintings, Chosan Seiyo 800 has been written as Abocuse. There are few paintings of them that was being confirmed. We are able to see Kanlen, the artist Kanlen, probably considered the same person. At that moment, and we cannot 100% and then reconfirm this is exact result. The Dankyo, the broken bridge that we are able to see in another piece in the Seiko Zoo, which is a shikusui. It's a part of the shikusui on the right side. Santai Ingetsu, like or sexual. So there's 4 paintings. Is a shows the landscape, a landscape in the horizontally, and then showing the 4 Seiko's vision, which then also it's not only the painting, and also shows the regions figures as well. And they also the Seiko, the Westlake Jukezu, Teilyo-sen, and then also would be considered as the same person. Tenryurenkan in the early Tenryurenkan, Teilyo-sen, which is with from the Choshu, and then also be confirmed from Christian's document. And Hakko Takujo no Heika, and then although those title has been recognized often, So these paintings has been recognized that it's a Seto, and then the style was different. Seto no Kokuhan Seto, Koun, Heiko, Shugetsu, Dankyo, Zanzetsu has been reflected. Seiko Juke Safuku Christabon has been showing on the right side. Nango Hangyo, Nambyo, Bansho, Aiho Seksho, those has been reflected and then putting them together. That's the 10 view that has been recorded. So here's a republished in this 1745. And once we compare with the two paintings, and from the shading technique, and then we can see that the Western style, the Western skills, and it has been included very significantly, which is after the 18th centuries. This is a typical Seiko typical paintings, which has been from 16th to 17th, there are second visit, and then the 10th paintings has been 17th too, and then has been clearly really reconfirmed within time, with a couple of times. Hyokuin Fuka has been recorded. There within the buildings, and Angu was laid 45 Choi-in-ji, and has been changed to Choi-in-ji. And those years and also can be narrowed down. Kenyurengan within the early age, Seiko Anguzu, and an Angu has been, and then also Seiko Jukete showing Tenryuzu, which has been able to see the differences from the Seiko's changes, and it's all reflected in the social prints. The Seiko showcase was the most significant reflex, but it does not exactly match in the timing. The Goitz Nanso has been recognized within the normal people as a nostalgic persons, and it has been demonstrated as a popular image. Shinchokote, the dynasties paintings has been overpainted on it, and the Seiko, it has been recorded for the Seiko's early stage. Started from the Juke and the landmark, which focus on the landmark as in a close-up. Except that there are paintings that the paintings reflect Seiko, and almost like Seiko alike paintings that we can see from here. Within Suzhou and the prints, that there are many Seiko alike paintings can be confirmed in the paintings, and here and paintings and then the prints, and then we'd like to confirm it from the Edo. This is the painting, the example from the Edo, and in the middle is a Jikuan Join. This is a Yamamoto Jakurin's an artist from the, and then on the right side, Denbun's paintings, Mariyama Okyo, artist Mariyama Okyo Seiko Jukes, which is from this is also the crystal version. Between those two, and there are very close relationship between those paintings that we can consider. The Yamamoto Jacqueline as the social style, and then they use the Sansi watercolor, and the which he takes in more Seiboku styles, and the stones, and being used as the painting itself. Probably it's not considered as a print, and then we should consider it as not a print version. However, the Seiko Jike Saku, which has been coming to Japan and after the 18th century in Japan, and we think maybe that is the right translation for that. However, in the city versions in Soshu, Koshu, the paintings that we have been viewing, the change around the cities, the change. And then, of course, it's not exactly in the showing the images, but it's as being as a painting, the way of translating, transforming the images, and then also introduced the Western and the Western skills, shading, and transformed it into a completely new art styles that we are thinking. After Tenryu Ninkan, late Tenryu Ninkan, and the Hanga has been solidly recognized, and which able to be recognized, to be able to recognize the simultaneous as the paintings and the artist, and then also can recognize the and the social prints was also recognized after this significant change. Thank you very much for your hearing.
Professor Itakura, thank you very much.